Hey, what's going on, everybody? Hans Martin Jr., the real movie critic. Today I got a special episode for you as I start counting down my top 10 long overdue worst movies of 2017. Yes, this is overdue, and I explain why if you check out our realmoviecritic.com, my top 10 best movies of 2017, you'll find out why this list is very long overdue. And yeah, as far as this year, was there any movies that were truly horrific? Honestly, not really this year. Surprisingly, there's usually a few movies that I really hated, but with this list, it's somewhat pretty much was the case of either bad writing or just bad acting in general, but nothing too absurd that I'm like, you know what, forget this movie. So, yeah. And some of y'all might say, well, you better put Star Wars The Last Jedi. Okay, guys, calm down. Stop it. It's in my top 10 best movies. Deal with it, and that's that. Alright, guys, without further ado, let's move on, or let's start off with number 10. Number 10 is Rough Night. Now, for a comedy with a great cast of Scarlett Johansson, Kate McKinnon, Zoe Kravitz, it really had a good cast. But man, the jokes were just straight up crude. It wasn't even tastefully done with the jokes. And the funny part is, that same year, they had a movie with pretty much almost the same story with Girls' Night. But at least with Girls' Night, that story had a lot more feeling, and it was a well put together film. This one is just, it just didn't work out. I think they really tried to make it feel like The Hangover, but it wasn't even close to being that way. And also Weekend at Bernie's as well. They tried to combine those two together. It just didn't work out, and I wasn't laughing whatsoever. And man, I don't even know why Scarlett Johansson even signed on for that role, but whatever. You know, not every actor makes great decisions, I guess. But yeah, that's number 10 of my worst movies. Let's move on to number 9. Number 9 is The Mummy. Now, this is supposed to start another cinematic universes with all the Universal monsters like Frankenstein and who else? The Creature from the Black Lagoon, Dracula, all that. So they decided to start off with The Mummy, starring Tom Cruise. You would think, oh, this is going to be a pretty decent action flick. No. Man, this is some of the worst writing I've seen. For a cinematic universe, if this was supposed to be the start, oh my goodness, y'all have a lot of work to do. Right now, I wouldn't even compare y'all to the DC Extended Universe right now. That's saying something. But Tom Cruise just really, he wasn't really all in there in that film, especially with Russell Crowe as Dr. Jekyll and Mr. Hyde. That combination just didn't really work out. The villain was very subpar. It reminded me a lot of the original Mummy series, not the original, but with the ones with Brendan Fraser. It just didn't work out. The writing was just too horrific for me, and yeah, that's why it's number 9. Let's move on to number 8. Number 8, Just Getting Started. You would think a film starring Morgan Freeman and Tommy Lee Jones would be a very good movie, but nope. I believe they treated this movie like how they want to be treated with their retirement. Just to be free and live free and spend the money on all they want and getting old women. As I was watching this movie, I was just asking myself, what is the point of this? And that's for a lot of films when you watch, you got to ask yourself, what is the point? And I really didn't get the point, other than just seeing Morgan Freeman and Tommy Lee Jones running and be free and having this little small rivalry and whatnot. And yeah, the end was just so action cliche that it was just too ridiculous. Let's move on to number 7. Number 7 is The Snowman. I love Michael Fassbender, but man, this one didn't do it. And mainly because for a mystery thriller, not only that the writing wasn't that good either, but it was so boring. And it was hard for me to keep engaged about this film. And I really thought this film had a lot of potential before I watched it, but now after I watched it, I'm like, well, how could they make this so boring? Even with all the gore and mystery stuff, it just didn't do it for me. And I hope Michael Fassbender realizes that and just moves on after that. All right, let's move on to the next. Careful, because for my number 6 movie, I'm about to go on a rant right now. And that is The Boss Baby. Now, I really thought, even for an animated movie for kids, I really thought this was really a stupid movie. And that's saying a lot for an animated film. But it's just the whole story was just too ridiculous, and really, it didn't give me my attention for me to really care. But what really gets me mad is that this movie gets nominated for an Oscar for Best Animated Film and not the Lego Batman movie. Give me a break. This is one of a lot of things where the Oscar just gets it wrong, completely wrong. And it's just really annoying because Lego Batman movie is probably one of my favorite movies of this year. And The Boss Baby was one of my least favorites. And it's just a stupid movie. The whole premise was stupid to begin with. And here's the bad thing is it just made money that even a sequel is going to come out of that. And that's going to be even more stupider if you really ask me. Stupid. Let's move on to the next. Number 5 was The Case of Overhyping Us, and that is the film It Comes at Night. This one had really great reviews. It had a good cast and everything. But honestly, it wasn't even scary for once, and it was supposed to be a horror film. Yeah, it deals with paranoia and whatnot, which I guess it kind of worked. But after watching this film, I just shook my hand and be like, it's just really no point to this. Maybe there was, I just didn't get it. But I do believe that this film was overhyped, and maybe that's why it went to my list of the top 10 worst movies of 2017. And yeah, that's pretty much how I think about this. So let's move on to number 4. Number 4, The Cure for Wellness. Man, you talk about weird, like really weird films. Lo and behold, The Cure for Wellness. And I don't know, there's something about Dane DeHaan that I not really like his acting. I just can't take this guy seriously. I just feel like he's just a spoiled brat in almost all his film roles. And with this weird movie, it really did not help his case whatsoever. I mean, there's too many things to say about how weird this movie is, but I don't mind weird as long as it's tastefully done. This was not tastefully done. This was just too horrendous. And it is funny because it did spend a lot of money in marketing for this thing. So, yeah, no bueno. Let's move on to the next. Number 3 is The Comedian, featuring Robert De Niro as a comedian. Yeah, you could think whatever you want about De Niro as a comedian, and honestly, I saw potential after watching the trailer, but after seeing it, I'm like, this is terrible. The jokes as for him as a comedian was just too crude, too stupid, and yeah, people praise him for his stupidity. That's pretty much what the movie's all about. A struggling comedian who just likes to be stupider than usual and gets praised for it. It's just straight up stupid. And yeah, that guy was such a jerk. I don't even know why he gets the praise. Whatever. Just not funny, stupid writing. And De Niro, just stick with drama, please. Let's move on to number 2. Number 2, Everything, Everything. Now, for this teen drama, oh my goodness, this is one of the worst. It's down to the Twilight status, if you really ask me. The premise is sort of interesting, but I knew it was going to be corny, but I didn't think it was going to be this corny and this stupid. Especially that twist ending at the end. I was like, you got to be kidding me. It's just, oh my goodness. When I was watching this movie, I was just shaking my head the whole time. And at the end, I was like, what? This has got to be the dumbest thing I have ever seen. And once it's done, I was like, this is terrible. This is what teens like? Teens, stop. Do better. Please, I'd rather watch a Transformer movie than some of these stupid romantic teen rom-coms or whatever you call it. Please. Oh my goodness. I'm getting more frustrated and I hadn't even got to my number 1 movie yet. You know what? Speaking of number 1, let's move on to number 1. Number 1, 50 Shades Darker. Oh my gosh, this movie was stupider than the first, as hard as that to believe. It really, the story really made no sense whatsoever. Now, mind you, I hadn't read the books, but really, how much better is the book, really? You know, the whole thing about this 50 Shades movie, it's just really dumb to begin with. And the fact that they made a third, which I haven't seen yet, and I'm not looking forward to it, but it's got to be one of the stupidest relationships I have ever seen, and yet people like it. You know, I just don't get it. I just don't get it. And it's a case of overhyping us as well, along with dumb writing and acting as well. And I just don't get it. Why these movies sell a lot? I just don't get it. Wow, man. Now that I think about it, man, this list is probably the most hated movies I've ever done in the past lists that I have done. And I'm just shaking my head like, why? Just why? Anyway, guys, that is my top 10 long overdue worst movies of 2017. And if you agree or disagree, please comment on my social media. Also, don't forget to support the Real Movie Critic at gofundme.com/real-movie-critic. Also, this Thursday, I don't know the time yet, but I will be doing a Facebook Live preview and review on the film Deadpool 2, a film I'm really looking forward to. I really love the first film, and looking forward to this one and see see how good it is, because you know, Deadpool took the world by storm with his first movie. Let's see how it does with the sequel. But if you want to check out my preview and reviews, you gotta like me on facebook.com/realmoviecritic. And lastly, my next project that I'm going to do is the Real Awards, my own little award show about the films of 2017. So be sure to check that out, because that will be coming soon. Alright guys, thank you all for watching. Until the next time, I'll see you there. Hey everyone, thanks for tuning in. Be sure to go on my blog at realmoviecritic.com. There you can find my links to my social media. You can like me or follow me. But most of all, you can subscribe me on YouTube. Thank you all for watching, and stay tuned because more reviews will be coming soon. Alright guys, I'll check you later, and I'll see you there.